Hey everyone, what's up? Corey here with CrossFit Rampage. Something I wanted to share with you guys today is how one of our systems here at the gym has changed over the years. Our foundations program. So, what the foundations program is, it's how a new person would get started with CrossFit. So, they're not just going to show up and jump into a class because if we let them do that, they might not feel comfortable. They kind of feel like the outsider. And also, the coach ends up having to spend a ton of time with that new person, especially if there's a lot of things that they just don't understand. So, our foundations program, like most CrossFit gyms, it's an extended period of time specifically for beginners, for the new person to come in and the coach to get an opportunity to work with them in a real controlled environment and teach them the movements they will then need once joining the classes and doing CrossFit on a regular basis. Well, over the past 6 years, I've did 4-day foundations programs that tried to be an hour long, ended up going an hour and a half. So I then moved to 5-day hour-long programs, which still went long. Then eventually I went back to a 4-day, called them 90-minute programs. These were all specifically set times spread out over a couple weeks, and we could only start day one if there was a group of people that wanted to start, because the issue was, say one person wanted to start and no one else did, so I went ahead and got started. And then the next week, all my time is tied up with that one person, all my time is tied up with that one person, but then say I get 6 people that come in the door that want to start. Well, now I've got this whole 2-week period blocked off because I've got one person in my foundations program, but then I've got 6 people waiting. So there was always a dilemma there, and I still, 6 years later, haven't quite solved it, but we're getting there. I then also, at one point in time, because I wanted more one-on-one attention, we had a 12-day foundations program. We would do 2 days one-on-one at the beginning, 8 days of classes in the middle, 2 days at the end, and I had another coach helping me out with it. It just ended up taking forever, and by the end, people were burnt out. They didn't even care about joining anymore. They were over it. Retention was low. So we didn't stick with that for long. So lately, I've went back to the 4 sessions, but there's still the issue of it's a group, and what if a group doesn't want to all get started? And it's at a specific time during the evening hours, 6:30 p.m., and it's 2 days a week, and a lot of people have kids or church or other obligations, and that just doesn't work for them. So here's how this system has evolved today. Something just recently, the past few weeks, I've started doing a lot more of is completely one-on-one, scheduled when the client wants introductory foundation sessions, whatever you call them, just 3 classes, an hour each, me working with the individual specifically based on their schedule. After those 3, they get to jump into the classes. Why go to 3 1-hour classes, which is less than 4 90-minute classes or the 12 we tried at one point in time? It's because this, let's be real. Anything you try out in life, anything you want to do, it's going to take you a while to feel comfortable, to get good at it, to really understand what's going on. I don't care what it is, okay? So I don't care how many foundations classes I take you through. We just got to put you in the class and let you actually start working out with the group of people, seeing what others are doing, learning from multiple folks. Just get in there and try it out. So this has actually started to work quite well. I'll schedule 3 days with a brand new person. We'll go 1 hour about. We can go a little over each day. And then after those 3 are done, they've learned enough, not everything, and they're not great at it, but they've learned enough about how to then start doing the movements in class. And sure, there are always going to be things that this person has not seen or learned or even heard of as they come out of foundations prior to joining the class, but that's just what I'm going to have to be okay with. I used to want to be a perfectionist and want every single thing taught in our foundations program prior to the member joining. That's why we did the 12-day session, and it just doesn't work. It's not realistic. So other gym owners out there, I don't know what's worked successfully for you. how many people you have running your foundations program, what the cost is, the time, the schedule. But I've come to find that this one-on-one setting has been working wonders as of recent March 2010 and a few months prior for what we are doing to bring people on. I'd love to hear about what you're doing, or as a athlete, potential member, beginning to CrossFit, what do you like? What would you like? What have you seen? What have you did? Thoughts on that? Guys, thanks for taking a minute to watch through the end of this. I appreciate it. More stuff coming soon. Thanks. Take care.